A number of people are asking, given the success of the first 6 rounds of the New Zealand Cup, will we maintain our stand in terms of restructuring it? I think it's important to give you a little bit more background. We're absolutely delighted, actually, that the competition has started so well this year. We're delighted to see the Manawatūs and the Tasmans of the world being competitive and really shaking this competition up. It's what we planned, it's what we dreamed of doing when we expanded it to 14 teams 3 or 4 years ago. But the reality is, a large number of unions came to us at the beginning of this year and demanded urgent review of the competition. They said it wasn't sustainable, it was too long, and we needed to do some work on it. We assisted them design some principles to guide how the competition would look in the future. Those principles deliver an 11 or 12-week competition at the longest it can possibly be, and the competition that we've designed with 10 teams fits into that window perfectly. So that's where it currently sits. We're absolutely committed to ensuring the teams that don't make the cut this time have an automatic opportunity to come back up if they are successful and win their Division 1 competition the following year. What we're all committed to is ensuring that the competition below the premier competition of the New Zealand Cup is meaningful, and we think the most meaningful thing we can do is to have automatic promotion relegation. So the plan right now, in fact, is for 2 teams from Division 1 to come up each year and for 2 teams to drop down from the New Zealand Cup. That will make that competition extremely meaningful, and we're hopeful, therefore, that people will continue to support those teams that don't make the cut this year. It's up to their communities to say they want to still be part of the deal, and if they're good enough, they'll win the competition, they'll come up and they'll be part of the premier competition the following year. And from that time onwards, all they've got to do is stay off the bottom of the table. So people should be prepared to back themselves in that regard. But it is a harsh reality, and it's really driven by the provincial unions themselves. As well as making the Division 1 competition meaningful in terms of those teams that are aspiring for promotion, it will certainly sharpen people's focus at the bottom end of the New Zealand Cup. Because if you're in threat of being relegated for the following season, you're going to play as hard as you possibly can to keep your team up, and hopefully the fans will help and remain supportive as the season goes on. As we pull 2 teams out of the Heartland Championship and put them into this Division 1 competition, we've said we'd like to seal the Heartland Championship for a period of time, and people are saying, well, why not have promotion relegation on an ongoing basis? The answer from our point of view is that we think it's a big call for the 2 Heartland unions that are going to come up to be able to establish themselves at this level. It will take some time, just as it's taken time for Manawatū, Tasman and Hawke's Bay to establish themselves in the New Zealand Cup. They haven't had the threat of a relegation issue, and we think we should apply the same to the Division 1 competition. It will be revisited. We're not sealing the Heartland Championship forever. We just think for a period of time, currently we're saying 3 years, we give the 2 teams that come up a chance to consolidate, become competitive, and then after that we'll relook at it. Another related question, and one often asked, is around the salary cap. There are unions that are suggesting the salary cap should drop down to some sort of figure under $1 million. The issue for us is that we're working on a completely revised player contracting model. We are due to start bargaining with our players for a new collective agreement for 2010 and onwards, and all these things are mixed up. So we certainly want to drop the salary costs for provincial unions in all these competitions. That has to be a goal of ours. We're trying to take cost out of the game, but how that will ultimately wash out is dependent on these negotiations and the player payment model that we agree to. But I think you can pretty optimistically look for a drop in the total cost of players in this competition.